Hello and welcome everyone to episode 76 of Video Game Club. As always, I am your host, Tyler, and I'm joined today by He's Only Sleeping, it's Austin. And back from her slumber, it's Mox.
Oh, hello.
Hello. And Mr. Good Dreams Only, it's Aaron. Aaron, how have you been, sir?
I've been okay. Been busy with life and kids and things, but yeah, I've been all right.
Playing any games?
Yeah, I beat for a different game club that I'm part of. I beat Dino Crisis, which is a nice short action thing if you've never played it. But I've drunk deep of the Baldur's Gate 3 cup, and I'm stuck in that. Stuck in that world, stuck in Faerun.
And can you give us like your initial thoughts in like 30 seconds?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I think it's a great game. I think that all the critics and the ratings have been pretty accurate. I'm excited to play more of it. I love the developers and what they've done in the past. It's a solid game. If
you were working at insert big news outlet here,
yeah,
would you put this ahead of The Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom for Game of the Year if you had to pick? At this time?
At this time? Well, yeah, I mean, I'm in that honeymoon phase. So, right. Yeah, I think that there's more meat on these bones here, but I can't slap a Korok to, a rocket. So right. It's gonna take me some time. By the end of the year, maybe I'll have that kind of sorted out.
Awesome. Well, we will revisit that question, I think, as you get further along in Baldur's Gate 3. Mox, what have you been playing?
Oh wow, what have I been playing? I don't remember. What am I playing? Oh, I tried the Pikmin 4 demo.
Oh,
after because it has a demo. I only looked because there's a bunch of sales. It is very cute, but I am petrified that it relies on time. That you have to, get this thing by the end of day, whatever, and then you're, cooked if you can't get the things in time. Is that true?
I heard that it's more lenient on the whole time thing, to where it's almost a non-issue. But I haven't played it myself, so I can't.
I had heard the main campaign is like pretty accessible, and then after that, they give you some stuff that you can do that's a lot harder,
like challenges, kind of, or something. That's what I also heard.
I wish we could just turn off time. Like we've played a bunch of games with really good accessibility options.
Mm-hmm.
I wish I could turn it off. It stresses me out. I want to play Pikmin and find it cute and not stressful.
I wonder if there's an accessibility option for Pikmin 1 or 2 to turn off the time, like the time stress mechanic.
I don't know how you could, because the point of it is that like it's a day-night cycle and you have to be home by the night or bad things happen.
That's true.
They'd have to get rid of that.
Or they'd have to like somehow make it longer, extend the time in some way.
Or just there is no time. But that's too much to ask, I think. But in any case, I played that. I literally can't remember what I've mostly been playing.
Final Fantasy 14?
That, of course. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I'll think of it later.
All right.
Come back to me.
Come back to you. Austin?
I've been playing a lot of Chorus. I'm actually on the final boss right now, so I will probably wrap that up today. That's been very good and fun. And it plays super well on deck. I've been grinding some Halo, trying to get through some of those battle passes that I let linger a long time. And then I've been playing some GTFO. Finally have a group for that again with you, Tyler, and a couple other people. And I hadn't played that in quite some time, so it's hard, but it's good.
Yeah, it's fun. I have been grinding Halo Infinite. I am happy to tell you, Aaron, that I have Fortnite Season 3. I'm level 100.
Oh my goodness.
You got that Optimus
I did it. I got the Optimus Prime. Yep.
Proud of you.
Wait, what? How much playing does that entail?
Not a whole lot to get to level 100 because there's a lot of challenges and little quests and things that you can do that give you a lot of extra experience. So it doesn't take as long as you would think. Maybe, I don't know. The season's pretty long too, so it's hard to tell. I play like maybe 3 or 4 hours a week.
Oh, a week. I think you're gonna say a day.
No.
Wait,
No.
what? Oh my goodness. Is that the battle pass? When
Yeah.
you say season?
Mm-hmm.
Have you done every one of these seasons?
No. So they Fortnite has this thing called chapters, and after every chapter, they reset the season count. And there's been a lot of seasons that I haven't. I played the very, very first one, and then I was like, okay, that was cool. And then I came back during COVID, and then I got kind of done, and then I came back when a friend of mine, Jared, shout out Jared, picked it up, and he got really into it, so I picked it back up.
Wow.
Yeah.
I can't believe it.
It's fun. It's a good, chill, fun time. You know,
it definitely doesn't ruin my childhood characters by giving Goku a gun.
I also just now fully completed Venba, which was a nice, sad, good game about Indian culture and cooking, and I learned a lot, and it was really nice to hear a story told from that perspective. I definitely recommend it. For
Did you
everyone.
get good recipes?
I learned a lot about cooking, like Indian cooking, but I don't know if the recipes would transfer over like a 1-to-1. Maybe they would. I don't know. I also played this other game and fully completed it. It was like it had a terrible name. Austin, I don't know if you can remember the name, but
it was something like When the World is Kicking You in the Face or something like that.
It was, yeah. But it was a nice little puzzle, heavy narrative, point and click game that I finished as well. That was pretty good.
Wow.
Mox, did that strike anything inside around what you've been playing besides Final Fantasy 14?
It was Xenoblade Chronicles 3, trying to finish it, and then I pulled the cart out of my Switch before getting to the end of it because I got tired of it. There's so much you have to do to like finish everything, including like the side quests. And this is what happens with games, is like I spent so much time doing everything else in the game that I'm like done before I get to the end of it. So I need to finish it, because I did the same with the Tears of the Kingdom and just so many games. And then I also did that. Went back to Fire Emblem Engage, and then I was like, oh, it's so complicated. This is why I stopped playing it. But I'm gonna try to get back into it. But it's complicated.
Nice. I picked up Fire Emblem Engage recently.
It's really pretty, but there's too many things going on.
I think I'm gonna start it when I go to Japan.
You're gonna have to immerse yourself in both your trip to Japan and Fire Emblem Engage. Good luck.
Well, thank you. Before we get started, just a reminder, this is Video Game Club, where usually every 2 weeks we discuss a game voted on by our wonderful friends in the Bombchu Discord. Bombchu Video Game Club is available on YouTube and all major podcast services. If you appreciate what you're hearing, please consider subscribing, rating, commenting, all those things. Come into the Discord, suggest a game for Video Game Club. Let's see, it was the Minish Cap episode were viewer nominations, so that's where those came from. The nominations for this episode, though, came from me, and they were Tome, Melatonin, and To the Moon, and Melatonin was the winner. It's a rhythm game developed and published by Half Asleep. Half Asleep is a company of one person. His name's David, I'm going to say it wrong probably, Hyun, based in Vancouver, British Columbia. It was released December 15th, 2022 on PC, and a few days later, December 22nd, 2022 on the Nintendo Switch. 2022, we had the Steam Deck and Playdate come out. God of War Ragnarok, Elden Ring, Horizon Forbidden West, Sonic Frontiers, and many, many others, including 3 games we have played for Video Game Club so far.
No.
Beacon Pines.
Beacon Pines.
Shoot.
Death's Door?
No.
Ah!
Death's Door is 2021, I think.
Yeah.
Neon White,
Mm-hmm.
and a game that we were just talking about, Mox, that you were like, we should play it again.
Oh, Forbidden
Nope.
City? No. What was that?
Remember we were talking, you were like, oh, it's so great.
Tunic.
Oh, Tunic.
Tunic.
Tunic I thought was older. Gosh,
Nope.
I don't remember.
Yeah, I feel like Tunic came out like 10 years ago.
the dev cycle was like 10 years.
How many times did I hear, play it, don't learn anything about it, and then shut my brain off? It felt like way too long.
The game was reviewed quite well, high 7s and 8s. People really liked the aesthetic, the soundtrack, the simple interface. Some of the cons, they didn't like the length. They thought it was a little too short, and that it had some difficulty spikes in it. Now, it is time to discuss, starting with the gameplay. So a little brief overview. It takes place over 4 nights. Each night has 4 levels. Each night requires 8 stars to get past. You earn stars by completing each level in the score mode. There's also a practice mode and a hard mode, as well as an editor. And there are a lot of level themes. I'm just going to go through them really quickly, and then we can discuss them. Food, shopping, tech, followers, exercise, work, money, dating, time, mind, space, nature, stress. Oh, God, stress. Desires, the past, and future. The stress one just really was just not... I just did not like it.
No.
Aaron, did you have a favorite level theme that you enjoyed playing?
I mean, yeah. I think time was my favorite, but I liked stress a lot too. I would say that was one of my more interested ones. Yeah.
Is that the one where you're climbing the ladder?
Yeah.
Yes.
When the lava's
Yeah.
coming up behind you.
Once
The
I got
music
more
is
used to
awful.
the cues, I liked it a lot more.
The time is the baseball one, right?
Mhm.
No.
Mhm.
Oh, sorry. I mean money. That's what I meant. The money, because money is like the closest to a Bemni, Beatmania, scroll, where it has things coming down and you can see them and plan for them. And I don't know. It's just like the most like the rhythm games that I enjoy. Instead
I
of
liked when they would crisscross. Yeah.
yeah, a lot of things in here are call and response ones where it's beat, clap, and then you have to beat, clap in response.
Right.
And that's just, it was really boring for me.
Aw.
But time and then stress. Or sorry, money and then stress.
Any least favorites?
Oh, what was the hypnotist one? Mind, I think.
Mind.
Yeah, where it's just the same button. It's like, I don't know. It was just incredibly boring.
You can tap, or tap, or tap. That was like the only patterns for that one, I think.
No, there were only 2.
Right.
It was tap or tap.
Yeah. Mox, you have any favorite level themes?
Yeah. Mind. I like
Mind.
space because you push one button. That's why I like it, and the audio cues are very distinct.
Oh, space is cool.
I didn't like money because the audio cues were very similar, and maybe it's my brain, but either that or my earphones. I could not easily use like what ear heard the audio cue to know what button to press.
Oh,
that was the so that whole night. What is it? Night 2 exercise. I got it's a pattern. I'm good with Simon. Work. Oh, good. The audio cues were different. I couldn't get it though. Money. I played the first level. It took me like so many tries to get like 2 stars. I gave up. Didn't even do the hard level. And then dating, I mostly got because the audio cues are very distinct. But there's sometimes I would press the wrong one. I'm like, I know which one it is. But anyway, that whole night, the worst. But the night after that, time, mind, space. I'm not including nature in that night. Those were the best. Those are my favorites.
Because nature was awful.
I got a perfect in space. I didn't even have to look at it. I really enjoyed mine because it's like relaxing. And then I really liked time because it was like Portal.
Yeah, it was like Portal.
And then the last night was also garbage. I throw it away.
The stress, desires, past and future.
Yeah, they're all anything that relies on the left and right. I really like shopping because shopping didn't have it. It was a pure visual.
Right.
My favorite.
Yeah. Austin, what about you?
I really liked dating. The music on it was good, and the sound cues were very good at letting you know what you were going to do, and it was very clear, like, the timing that you needed to hit that button. Some of them were just, like, really unintuitive, and that one was just, like, it clicked immediately. And to where they would hide what you, like, they would flip the phone to where it would be facing away from you, and you could still very easily do it just from sound cues, which felt really good. There were some others that I for sure enjoyed. I liked the money one. Stress I didn't like at first, but when I practiced it a little bit more, it became a lot easier to tackle. But for a bit, I was trying to go off the ladders, and it was hard for me to tell when the lava was going to come up underneath me.
Yeah.
But I eventually got used to that sound cue. That helped. I don't remember what Desires was.
Isn't
That
Desires
one's the grabby claw game.
Yeah.
Yes, that was. I started to enjoy that one. It was kind of hard to get started, but yeah, when it would start to get fast, I was like, "Ooh, yeah, I'm into this." Time was really hard for me because it was hard to figure out when I was supposed to start holding the button to start swinging, and they would do a lot of stuff to throw you off, like, oh, well, now it's spitting 3, and I figured out that's a visual cue that it's like a blue portal when it's going to keep spitting. And
this was audio cues. It is like mostly audio cues for that one.
I couldn't get the audio cues very well from it, unfortunately.
Well, there you go. Then it sucks. Because the visual cues suck for that one.
Oh, well, you guys should do what I did just turn on all the accessibility options, and then it just becomes a push the button when the icon's in the center of the circle game.
Well, but no wonder why you didn't like it.
Yeah.
Did you do that for all of them?
I did. Yeah, I turned it on like right away.
Why?
Because I just wasn't having a lot of success or fun listening to the clap, 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 clap. So I said, okay,
that one is the drips from Stupid Nature, and that one did suck. But the other ones were better.
Nature's awful.
I turned it on, and I never looked back. I never went to turn it back off.
Especially when they turn off the visual cue in Nature, it's just like, oh my god, this really sucks. Yeah. I also wasn't a big fan of The Past.
Which one's that one again?
It's where you're burning the photos.
Mm-hmm.
Where you're what? Sorry?
Burning the photos.
Burning the photos? Oh my gosh. Yeah, that one was... Yeah, okay.
There were some, and that was one of them, where I knew what I needed to do, but the timing of when to stop and start and stop were weird, to where I would consistently, frequently getting later early.
I have an opinion about that. It happened in several of them. And the accessibility option I kept was the metronome. I'm used to the boop, 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 that kind of metronome, so I kept it on. In ones like Nature and The Past, the practice, the cues would always be on the beat or in a predictable, off the beat ragtime kind of pattern. And then when you go to the level, it is like, whoa, this isn't anything that I ever anticipated. And Nature and The Past were the worst for those, where it's like I'm used to doing the patterns from the practice, and then those patterns do not exist in the level. I was upset.
Yeah, they're like, here, practice this, the easy parts, and you're like, okay. And then you go to do it, and they're like, what if we put some hard parts in there just for fun, and weird parts and parts that aren't part of the practice? Yeah, Mox, that was annoying. Good call out. I really liked dating, followers, and there was another one that I really liked.
I thought you liked money.
Money, I did. Money was good, and work.
Ah, that's right.
I liked the work one a lot. I agree that night 4 is kind of I don't know. It was it was a thing. It was a thing. It seemed to me as I was playing. It seemed like, and I don't believe this. I don't believe this is true. But it played as if there was, I don't know, less thought put into the levels as time went on. I and I don't think that's the case.
I have to disagree because I really enjoyed the Night 3, because I think it was like there were novel items there that were like how it did it and hiding things, which was interesting. But I definitely think it ended on a very sour note. And yes. I almost wish Night 4 would have been 1, and then Night 2 would have been last. I think that would have been perfect.
Yeah, yeah.
I think they were also kind of themed off of like particular. So like Night 1 is kind of like about consumption, and Night 2 is like here's stuff that you need to do for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Night 3 was more like here's stuff you can get that's more like pensive. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Night 4 was like things that you worry about.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's kind of why Night 4 just feels not as good, because it's just like the theme of it is just kind of more negative.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man, awesome lore master over here.
Well, yeah, I like that kind of breakdown of the different nights. I played the demo of Melatonin, which was just the first night, but in one of the Game Fest things on Steam.
Yeah.
And I thought it was really interesting, but I think that there's a cuteness in the food one, and even in the shopping. Like there's an art style, there's a presentation that is really appealing, and it never gets back up to that level. Like you never see him floating around in that chair with that big open like Pac-Man face eating burgers.
Yep.
Like I wish that kind of aesthetic carried on a little bit more, but then it got, then the mind one is just a pendulum in front of an eyeball.
Well, I liked Money in terms of the art style with the floating piggy bank.
And the Desires, like the crane machine, the whole view of that arcade and everything looked really sick.
Yeah, but the majority of them, I think, fell off, is what Aaron's... Right, Aaron?
Yeah, I mean, we talk about nature. And
we forget it exists.
Time, I thought, was really cool. We're probably dipping into a later topic, but Time was neat because it zooms out and you see your actions represent, echoed in all this different area. But something like Space is really just like the same. It's the rocket ship, and then the rocket ship goes, and then there's the rocket ship. The rocket ship goes.
Yeah. Hey, whoa! The rocket ship stays. It's the control center that goes away.
The
rocket ship is the visual. Like the other one.
I think he's saying the rocket ship flies away and then another one flies away. I thought you were saying the but I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
I thought that was cute because the little people get shuffled into the rocket ship at the speed of the music, and that was cute to me in the same way that you get fed, from a giant pizza box.
I'll tell you one that wasn't cute, the exercise one.
What?
That was not very cute, yeah.
Okay, but if you're ranking the least cute one, Stress is by far the least cute one. That one actually
yeah.
It was ugly.
Yeah.
But to your point, the cute ones were definitely first.
And Nature kind of sucks.
Throw it away. I think Dating was cute too, with the different faces.
Oh, yeah. The poo emoji.
Really adorable.
Yeah. Aaron, did you play things on hard mode?
Yeah, I played. I mean, I wish I could have just done hard from the beginning. I played you did the practice. I did the main one, the scorer mode, and then they did hard for everything.
Wow.
With accessibility options.
Yeah, with the accessibility options. I get it.
But
judge me if you want.
No. I guess it's
no. There's no judgment.
You wanted a challenge. So you wish you could just skip to the hard mode, but then you played with the accessibility options.
Yeah,
what if you didn't play with them?
Well, that's a different skill set, right? That's using my audio processing abilities to
your video processing
parse
ability
out.
is the same. You do that with the buttons lining up. Not all of them had audio.
So let me. Have you ever played Bust a Move?
No, that's the PlayStation one, right? With the four. The
is that retro game?
Go out to
not a rhythm game. That's Bust a Groove. Bust a Move.
Oh, sorry, Bust a Move. The balls, the puzzle game where you're shooting balls up.
Yeah.
I have. Yes.
So I can kind of get where you're coming from. Where sometimes I want to play a harder level, but also or a bigger level. But sometimes I also really miss having the little laser guide.
Yeah.
So I get what you want.
I just wanted a more complicated. Yeah, exactly. I just wanted it to be more complicated.
I get it. Okay.
I just enjoy watching the circles come in and hitting them on the beat, and listening to the audio cues helps. And there are sometimes you can just close your eyes and do it. But when I think of a rhythm game, I'm thinking of something like Guitar Hero or Beatmania or Poppin' Music, something like that, where I'm watching the nut things come down and I'm hitting them. But this is really a rhythm game in that you're just doing it to a rhythm that's kind of separate from the music. The music is just providing a BPM for the rhythm to take place with. And that kind of, that didn't excite me.
Were you not into WarioWare and, oh God, what's the other one? Rhythm Heaven?
Rhythm Heaven? No, I mean, I've played some WarioWare, but I have not played a lot of Rhythm Heaven.
Well, they're the same game, just with different, strappings. But the point of them is... Do they make
you go through a practice mode before you go into
No, well, I guess they could. But you kind of intuit it.
Yeah.
You play it first and it's slower, but then you have to play it later and it's faster and they add things or they hide things. But that's the point of the game, is to intuit the changes. And so for me in this game, to have the circle with what button you press does eliminate all of the fun, because the point is to intuit and to, make mistakes.
Yeah. I like where your head's at there, because WarioWare for sure. I haven't played Rhythm Heaven, but WarioWare, it'll just throw each game at you.
Yep.
One after another very quickly. And like Mox said, you have to visually, it has to make sense pretty much immediately, very quickly, because you have 5 seconds to figure it out, and then it goes on to the next one. And I think in here, a lot of these were not intuitive to figure out the timing and how you were supposed to play each one until you did the practice. So I can see why they forced you to do practice. I wish they were just more intuitive, but if they wanted to keep the stuff like it was, I see why they had you start with practice. But if you do good in practice, I would have loved to just skip to hard mode. I agree. I think that would have been nice.
That would have been. I would have preferred that as well.
Are there any benefits for doing everything in hard mode besides saying you did it? Because I only did a couple levels.
Didn't see a reward.
You can't. You have to do it in the regular mode. Hard mode, you don't get stars. You get what? Nebulas,
planets or whatever.
Rings.
Yeah.
So you can't. If you only did hard mode, you couldn't beat the game.
But if they gave you let's say you
change
skipped
that
regular mode, standard mode, and you did hard mode instead. If you got 2 rings, then ostensibly it would make sense that you would have gotten at least 2 stars.
Well, I do. This game is Rhythm Heaven to me, even more so than WarioWare. And what I like about Rhythm Heaven over WarioWare is that Rhythm Heaven, you kind of you play one level and it changes the different ways you play it and the rhythm and the different hindrances. Whereas in WarioWare, you kind of play a theme of levels, but you play 30 different ones. Yeah. And so this game is very Rhythm Heaven in that you kind of adapt to how the one level changes. So in the Rhythm Heaven model, no, you have to play easy before you can play hard, because in easy you learn some patterns that they then remix in hard. And so if you're approaching it from a Rhythm Heaven, I like Rhythm Heaven, I'm gonna like this game. Well, yeah, because you have to do it in order. But I can appreciate why you would want to just skip to the hard one if you're I don't feel like playing the game.
I wanted to play the game. I just found the hard mode a lot more enjoyable, and generally, whatever ranking I got on regular mode, I would also get on hard. There was one level where there was kind of a disconnect there, but other than that, it was just okay, it's more of the same, but the speed's kind of different.
Did you play the...
In a couple, they would remove visual cues, but...
Yes. Did you play the level editor?
I messed around in there for a little bit. It was not very intuitive to use.
You can do some crazy stuff though.
You could make the level perfect for you, I think. And that would be my assumption.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Do all the things that you like.
I could, but also I kind of wanted there to just be that stuff. I don't want to go make it myself.
Yeah.
It's nice that it is there though. I guess I haven't looked to see if there's ways for people to share. No, there are ways. They have to like go find their files and download it and put it into a specific folder, and it look. I wish there was a browser.
Yeah,
that would have been cool.
It's like Mario Maker, right? You don't want to make the levels. You want to play the good ones. I mean, some people want to make them, but my preference would be just to play the good ones. Mox, I think I'm more aligned with you and less aligned with Aaron and Austin about the hard mode situation and everything. And I like the whole visual audio cues and how it didn't give you the little circle and it and how it played a little differently because of that. It did make the game a lot harder for me, but once I beat it, I had this really nice feeling of accomplishment because I'm not very good at like usually games like this. So it was like really nice for me to be able to do it on score mode or whatever.
I will say, to your point, I loved how at the end of every level you played through like a mashup. And then at the end of the game, you played through the entire mashup. I think that's such a good idea.
Yeah, yeah. And I wonder if part of that was around the whole, like, you have to have 8 stars to move. So each level you can get 3 stars, right? And you could get 8 by only doing really well in 3 levels. But I wonder if that limit was set so that when you got to the end or when you got to that final level that you could easily pass because it forced you to train, right? To practice, to get better.
And like those mashups kind of felt like what the core of the game was supposed to be. Like that feels like the WarioWare comparison where you get to, it's just like, okay, just do it. It's this game. Now it's this game. Now it's this game. And just respond. It feels like the rest of the game was training you to be able to do that. And like that those final levels were like, that's what I want, where I want the core of the game to be.
That is so funny.
But each one of them lasts for such a short period of time that it's like,
you could do hard mode with them.
I did.
Okay, oh, wow. They were hard to me. I didn't like them. I appreciated them. They're cute, but I struggled to switch gears like that because, again, I'm a rhythm heaven girl more than a WarioWare girl. But I appreciate that you liked it.
Yeah.
I also wanted to touch on the practice thing. I can see why we were forced to do practice every time before score mode, but I wasn't sometimes I was just like, let me just try it. Like, I don't like, let me just see let me just do it once. I just want to see. No.
Oh, okay. I mean,
if you do poorly in practice, it'll also be like, you need to practice again.
Yeah.
If you open it and then close it, can you then go to score mode, or do you have to like go through practice mode?
I believe you have to get a score. Like it has to like calculate how well you did, because it will block. Like Austin said, if you do bad at practice, it won't let you do score mode.
Oh, it won't let you.
Yeah.
Well, that's sad.
Yeah. And there was one where I didn't do so hot at practice nature. So,
hey, the practice modes were like nothing like some of them, and I didn't appreciate that.
Yeah, very true. Anything else on the gameplay that we didn't really touch on that anybody wants to touch on?
I played it on Switch, which I don't know if the Switch has the level editor, because I couldn't figure out how to get to it.
Ooh, it might not, because it was a later update.
Oh, okay. Well, in any case, the Switch, I always play it in undocked mode. So in handheld mode, sorry. And the Switch is so thin that when I put my fingers on the triggers, it is uncomfortable. And when that's it, like usually if you're gripping the trigger, it means you're like, I'm sorry, they're not using the triggers, they're using the buttons. When you're like, when you use the buttons, you're also doing something on the other buttons. And like your hand is kind of conformed to the Switch. Oh, my hands cramped up so many times because just when you're just using the buttons, it was not comfortable. So if you're gonna play it with a Wii Pro controller. Or Switch Pro controller, I guess.
I'm gonna bring my grip thing for you to try to see if it makes a difference for you.
Okay. I don't know if I'm gonna play this game again, but I appreciate.
No, but for other games on Switch.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll try it.
Yeah. Just to try. Just to see if you like it. Okay, should we move on to the visuals?
Yes.
The visuals. Mox, did you like the visuals in this game?
Yeah. Although it took so long to load,
On the Switch.
That I assume that was the reason why. But they're so cute. You walk around. He's wearing pajamas, kind of.
Yeah.
Everything's kind of purpley, pastel-y, except for the last level, the last night, which was kind of not interesting to look at. All the other nights had different colors and different themes. It was cute.
I wish that you talking about the overworld, like the map. I wish it was all connected and you could easily go back to other levels, but it's not. You have to go to like the chapters or the night select or whatever, which is basically like a chapter select, and
it's
choose.
Like I don't know, 45 to 60 second load time on the Switch. I don't know what it is on other things.
On deck, it was it was of length. It wasn't that long, but it was noticeable for sure.
That alone is like, oh, I'm not going to go back and play levels. Like, I want to jump around, but you can't. I'm not going to wait that long.
Yeah. Austin, visuals?
Gorgeous. Love this visual style. I've got my phone case is a similar visual style to this. Like,
you got a hoodie, similar.
Yeah, I've got some clothes that match this style. Like, visually, I played this on my desktop just because I wanted to see all the colors really pop on a nice monitor. Every time my wife passed by, she was like, "That game's so pretty." And each game, like each level, was visually distinct, and so like half of what really drove me to keep playing was just I wanted to see what the next thing looked like. And even some of the levels I didn't like, I really enjoyed their visual style, like the photo burning, the past. Had a very pleasing art style. Desire was like maybe one of my favorites to look at. Loved the visual style. You guys mentioned loading times, and on desktop I did not have like any load time issues. But that's I don't know if that's like a CPU bound issue when it's trying to load, or I don't know what it is, but at least on like a super powerful machine. No, mine's not super powerful anymore. It's a little Tyler's blows mine out of the water, but it's something that's not a portable system that's of relatively good specs was able to load it pretty quickly. So I don't know. I did not try it on the deck. This is one of the few games where I was like, no, I am playing this on my desktop. But I'd be interested to try that and see what those loading times are like, because it was nice on desktop. But
Aaron,
I also appreciated the art style. I thought that it was, it's nice that it was it had like a consistent palette that it used across everything, that it had a consistent art style that was really, we talked about it a little bit before, but it's cute. He's a cute guy doing cute stuff. There's lots of emojis. There's lots of like eyeballs on things that are in stuff like the work stage. It gives it kind of that dreamlike quality. I played it on desktop, big monitor right in front of my face. And I just liked all the little details, all the little considerations that the creator put into every stage.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I thought the graphics were perfectly fine.
There's a very wholesome vibe to it as well.
Yeah, wholesome games.
Yeah.
I think it got shown off first in one of the wholesome game directs, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Moving on to the audio. So the music is one of the key parts of this game. It's a rhythm game after all, with music. The soundtrack is a compilation of songs by Half Asleep Games, but there's also some songs in there by other artists such as Gravity Sound, Yotam Peril, Shindig, and Munthence. I thought the music was really great. It fit really well, and I wish, I don't know, it's interesting that it was a compilation. I would love to see like a pressing of this or something. Hopefully they can like work that out. But like, there's no, like, you can't just like go on Bandcamp and like buy this or anything like that. You have to buy like piece by piece from what I saw, which was kind of a bummer, because I would like to listen to this just, hanging around, going for a walk, something like that. Austin, you going to get this vinyl when it gets pressed? If
Probably not.
Probably not.
I liked it fine. It was effective for making those levels work.
Yeah.
Some levels I really was like vibing to the music, especially when they would get into like the compilation levels, and it would kind of keep swapping between. But a lot of them, I was more focused on the level than the music, which usually in a good rhythm game, you really are like into the music while you're doing the gameplay, and I just didn't get that here. They were fine. It just they weren't like sticking into my head or anything.
Aaron, are you gonna listen to this while you work?
Maybe, I don't know. I might seek it out. I liked the music enough as something on the background of the stages, but I can't hum you any bars from any of the stages or anything. They kind of came and went, and since you're not really reacting to the song, you're not like following the melody or the verses of the song that you're listening to. You're playing off of whatever the game is doing. You walk up to a flower, you hold the button. Doesn't matter what the song is really doing in the background. So none of them really stuck out to me. But as like study music or sleepy time music, I'm sure that'd be a good thing to pop up on Spotify.
Mox, are you gonna add this to your Banjo-Tooie playlist?
Well, no, because that's the Banjo-Tooie playlist.
Fair enough.
But I did like it, although I can really only recall like vaguely the tune to Money, and that is only because I had to do it about a dozen times because I was very bad at it, and that's the only reason why I can recall it. I got a perfect on the normal for space. Do I remember the song? No.
Dang.
Not at all.
Wow.
But I like it. I like them all, except for, again, most of the last night. But
what happens when you get a perfect? Because I never got one, Mox.
Oh, nothing. It just says perfect. And then instead of like the number of stars you got in that level, it replaces it with P.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, interesting. All right. Let's loop controls and interface performance all kind of together. I played on the Steam Deck, and this has a like special. Austin told me about this. It has like a special Steam Deck mode. Like it has like a little switch in the options, and it changes the colors a bit.
Of what?
Of the whole game. Like the color, it's not a color palette switch. It's more like it touches like saturation, contrast, and things like that. And it made it look more similar to how it looked on my desktop. So I don't know if they're like tweaking settings for the Steam Deck screen specifically, like the panel. But it did make a difference, and it did look really nice. And besides those loading times that I already mentioned, it was fine. It was great on deck. Everything was wonderful. Mox, you kind of already touched on Switch and the load times. Mm-hmm. And then you talked about a bit about the cramping. Was there anything else Switch-wise?
It otherwise was fine.
Otherwise good. And Austin, you played desktop?
Yep. Desktop with an Xbox controller, and everything played, sounded great, and controlled well, other than just being unintuitive in certain spots.
Yeah. Aaron?
Same. Desktop, Xbox controller. No crashes, no performance bugs or issues. Loading times seemed, fine, manageable.
Yeah.
It's a finely running game.
Nice. Yeah. Okay, Aaron. Now, please tell us about the story of this game. I know you're big. You got really invested in the story of Melatonin. I know that you were thinking about writing a big write up about it.
Yeah, it was, and then I fell asleep. Every time I put pen to paper, I just started dozing away.
I'm kidding. Mox, do you have anything that... I mean, Austin kind of touched on it about the knights being separated, and maybe they were telling a different story and they were grouped together.
No.
But
no.
There's nothing, right, Mox?
There's nothing. I was really hoping, like, I don't know, since we got to see the knights, when it said morning, I was like, oh, it's going to give us some detail about him. But then he fell asleep again.
Yeah. I also thought it was going to be some big reveal or something, but
Yeah.
nothing.
Don't worry, they're going to add an entire, like, fully voice-acted story in Melatonin REM Mastered.
Oh my god.
Oh no, don't give them that idea for free. Don't.
File the copyright now.
Oh my god. Or if they're really modern, they'll do a comic book
No.
collab. That's like a new thing.
Don't give them these ideas.
Yeah, I mean, Aaron, is there anything that we're missing that me and Mox and Austin didn't pick up on story-wise?
No, it's just an everyman, some guy probably in his mid-20s and going home alone, worried about things, hoping for a better future, thinking about, his life and what he wants and what he wishes he could get past.
And falling asleep.
It's the millennial journaling.
Yeah, it's just what you dream about. Everybody has dreams. Everybody has dreams about time, right? We all have dreams about meditating and dreams about watering plants. These are things we can all relate to.
He needs to clean his house.
Yeah.
He needs to clean his house. Yeah.
He needs to get his
dream about that.
He needs to get
Jordan
his act
Peterson
together.
over here.
Where's the dream about cleaning?
Oh my god.
Yeah, where's the cleaning dream? That's coming
in the REM Mastered.
It's in the REM Mastered, yeah. Gosh. The REM Mastered. Oh gosh. Just giving away the ideas for free, Austin over here.
I know.
No. Okay. Personal takes. Is anyone eager to go?
Can I ask a question before we do personal takes?
Go for it.
So it seemed like the levels were like a set. Like the inputs were set. They were not dynamic, or random. Was that the case?
What do you mean?
Yes.
So like, if you play the level once and then you
yeah.
play it again, it's going to be the same inputs to complete the level.
Yes.
Well, yeah, it should be. So
Yeah.
you can get better. So that you don't keep failing money over and over again and you're stuck in a money, purgatory. That would be cruel. Don't give them any ideas for the REM Master.
REM Master.
I wanted a randomized version or like maybe after hard mode or something like that.
Say no.
Just so you would have more replay value. You know what I mean?
It's a rhythm game.
I know. Rhythm games can be randomized.
No. You want to play the same level so that when you play it, you can do it perfectly.
Sure, I'm saying leave standard and hard alone, and then have like a random or an endless mode or something like that you could just do for fun.
Endless mode?
Don't give them ideas.
Man, that'd be crazy. That's for the REM Mastered for sure. Austin, go ahead with your takes since.
Sure.
Yeah.
So obviously, visually, I adored this game. As soon as I saw the first trailer for it, I was like, I have to play that. I don't know when I'm going to, but I need to play it. I was a little disappointed by the sound because when you've got cool visuals like that, you really just hope to have some awesome music to go with it, and it was fine. But I wish it had been more. The gameplay was fine, but it was very short-lived, and there's very little replay value there for me. Like, sure, I could go back and try to get perfects on everything, but it doesn't feel great to me trying to be like, oh, I got one early, I need to restart and go through and get everything perfect. Because like the early and lates don't feel sometimes they happen, I'm like, that didn't feel like it was my fault, but maybe I'm just old and my reflexes are bad. I don't know. I really like the compilation levels, but I think that I would have enjoyed the game more if it was more of that. And those seem to just be like these little bursts of, okay, now move on, learn the next stuff. Okay, it's a test to see if you learned it. Then move on. And I don't see myself really ever playing this again. Or, like, I wish I had more reasons to spend more time in this game. Because, like you said, Mox, it's a rhythm game. And a lot of rhythm games, there's more songs or there's more to just kind of spend time in. And this one, it's like, okay, once you pass the level, there's not really much reason to go back. I don't know, maybe a different mode. Maybe, I don't know. I wish it was a little more dynamic. Or that there was an option for that.
Just,
I'm not sure.
Yeah, just more, right?
Yeah. For what it was fine. I wish things were more intuitive to learn, and again, like you could spend more time in there. But I would probably give this like a 6.
Wow.
I relatively enjoyed my time. I don't think it was worth the money for how short it was. And I didn't have as much fun as I was really hoping I would for something that's that short. Usually if you have a really short experience like that, for that kind of money, you want it to just be like, okay, it's 2 hours of pure fun.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not what this was for me.
6 from Austin. Mox?
I liked this game. I do, unlike Rhythm Heaven, where they play up being able to like get good at it and making it really like easy to get good at something by having very distinct audio cues and also very distinct visual cues, and having, at least in like Mega Mix, where you really only just tap the screen, so it's one input, but then there's more interaction, than just like you just tap it once and that's it. I really enjoy how like Rhythm Heaven goes. So I was thinking, oh man, I'm excited for this game. It seems like it's Rhythm Heaven, and where's Rhythm Heaven for Switch? So I was like, this is it. This has got to be it, and it just wasn't, and I'm sad. I liked a lot of the levels, but the separation between the 2 nights I liked, which are 3 and 1, it is so much better than how much I liked 2 and 4.
Yeah.
Broadly. And not only did I not like those, well, really the only reason I didn't like them is that I struggled with them. And honestly, they needed to work more on differentiating the visual cues and the audio cues for from the other inputs that you can make. If they did that, this game would be so much better, because then it's easier to learn. But by not having clear, reliable, both audio and visual cues for every single, interaction, it's just like, it's not fun to learn, because sometimes if I'm not getting one part of it, then I'm never going to get any part of it. And then, certain levels take away the visual cues. And so you have to rely on the audio cues. And then, well, oh gosh, like, okay, what if you're struggling with that part, anyway. I think the art style is very cute. The music is good. People put a lot of, put a lot of time in making the game, which I appreciate. There's just like these small things that are really fundamental to a rhythm game that they could have just been done 20 to 10% better, and it would have been so much better. So I would still give it a 7, because I mostly liked it more than I didn't like it, and it wasn't unplayable even when I struggled. But there's so much room for improvement, and I am not inclined to play this game further to try to get perfects, because it takes so long to load. I have to like commit to a night but if I get frustrated, it's like, well, I want to do the ones I'm good at, but then I have to wait a minute to load it, and I'm like, this is a rhythm game. Things go fast. Yeah. So anyway, there's some room for improvement, but it's a good game, and it definitely would get it on sale.
What was the score?
7.
7.
Yeah.
Okay. Aaron?
It's a 6 out of 10 for me there, Tyler.
Whoa.
It's fine. It's got a cool art style. The music is, it's all right for what it is. I just don't think that the game is terribly fun. And yeah, I know that by turning on some of the accessibility options, maybe I'm robbing myself of like the true experience. But even with them on, I even if I turned them off, I don't know that I'd want to play it more than once.
Well, you shouldn't have to turn them on in order to like be able to play the game. The game should be playable without them.
Right. Yeah, sure it is. I could play it. I might not get like the 2 stars or 2 rings or whatever I was getting consistently, but maybe I would be playing the stages more to get the higher scores. Even without the circles, overlapping each other and pushing the button, it just wasn't a very fun game to play. And yeah, like there's no reason for me to go back and try to do any of the stages more than once, or now that I've completed them, and there's not like a way to remix things aside from going in the editor and doing it myself. So I don't know. I think it's great that one person made it. They took an idea and they executed on it, and they made a whole bunch of art for it, and they came up with like the rhythm gameplay and how to variations on a theme 16 times, right? That's a kind of a challenge in and of itself. So I respect the creator, but the game is not really for me.
That's respectable. It's a 7 for me. And there's nothing really I can say that hasn't been said, but the thing that makes it a 7 for me was I liked how it looked. I liked just the overall feel and vibe of the game. I thought the music was really good. And, it was challenging, but not too challenging. The only thing I didn't like was it was a little short. I wish it was a little bit longer. I think that would have been helpful, and I wish I didn't have to practice every time. But yeah, 2 7s, 2 6s for Melatonin. Any last words about Melatonin or the Rim Mastered before we?
No.
No. All right. Well, that was.
More intuitive, more content, please.
Yeah,
that would
more
be great
content.
If we get Rim Mastered.
Rim Mastered. I'm gonna
maybe even more difficulty modes. Like
I'm going to die if that gets announced. Gosh,
it's such an easy grab that everybody thought of it, but it also is such an easy grab that everybody thought of it. Don't do it.
I'd be surprised if something hasn't already come out as the Rem Mastered.
Oh, version. like the remastered for Red Faction.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right, that was a little dive in our take on the rhythm game Melatonin. If you enjoyed hearing us discuss and want to join us for the next Video Game Club episode, stay put, because the vote just ended, and it was between Paranormicite, Corpse Party, and Fatal 12. And there is a tie, Mox, and it's your nomination, so you get to break the tie.
Well, I looked and none of them is on sale, and so I just really want to talk about Paranormicite, and so that's why I would like to pick that one.
All right.
I do believe it's shorter than Corpse Party as well.
All right.
So I want us to talk about Paranormicite.
Paranormicite.
I almost bought Corpse Party yesterday, so I'm really good.
Play it anyway. All of them. They're all good.
Just play them all.
Oh yeah.
Corpse
Party's been on my wish list since it came out on Steam, but I had the wrong version on my wish list because I didn't realize another version of it came out that's also sold on Steam at the same time.
There are so many.
That game's getting some weird sequel stuff too. Corpse Party. Me and Austin were looking into it.
It has a sequel, and now it's getting a different sequel that's also Corpse Party 2, but instead of the number 2, it's the Roman numeral 2. And
oh my goodness!
This time it's a true sequel. I don't know.
Gosh. Okay. Paranormicite. Thank you everyone who voted, and thank you everyone for listening, watching. Next episode will be on September 3rd at 2 Eastern. Austin, thank you so much for joining.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. Mox, thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Aaron, thank you for continuing to join us.
Oh, you're very welcome. Thank you for continuing to invite me.
Of course. And special thank you to Andron for working behind the scenes. I'm Tyler, and this was Video Game Club episode 76, Melatonin, and we're out.